Chapter 3, Lesson 2, Angles and Triangles. State-centered 8G5. You can see not a prioritized for us currently at this time, but still one we're going to cover. Big thing today, we're looking at two different things. Where interior is the inside. So we're looking at interior angles, and then we're going to look at exterior. Excuse me, I wanted that in green. So that exterior is outside. That's what we have to pay attention on. Are we looking at all the inside today? Or are we looking at a single outside angle? That's how we start or change our setup. Notice up here in the top, you can see that all the interior angles in a triangle will always add up to 180 degrees. So if you need to put little smiley faces or stars around that guy, please note that a triangle will always add up to 180 degrees. All three angles, no matter what. So again, stars, smiley faces, that's the big thing today that we're going to be starting with. Notice that's all three inside angles, but now when we come down here, if we're talking about one exterior angle, you can already see it. Let me zoom down here so you can see it as well. If we're asking about this one angle on the outside, that adds up to the two opposite or non-adjacent angles on the inside. We're just going to add those up. Let's start with the inside. Find the value of x. Again, every time that all three angles add up to 180 degrees. What do they all add up to? Hope you said 180. If not, say 180. Hope you said 180 right there. If not, we're going to have a chance at it again. So once you've done that, notice again, I'm going to add up all three angles. Now, I know that you can add these two quickly together, and sometimes you guys will do that. You'll just jump right to that step, and I will accept that. However, you're going to see for me, out of habit's sake, like I mentioned in a previous video, when we get to ones like this one over here on the right, where we've got multiple variables and multi-step equation, that's why I write them all out. But now that we're down here, solve this equation. I'm going to add a negative 73 to both sides. Careful with the mental math. Watch out for those quick little mistakes. And then once you've got your answer the question. Did it say find the missing angles, or did it say find the value of x? Our instructions here on the top say find the value of x. So we have done that correctly then. Notice all those steps. Don't make that magically appear. Show me the work. Whether you are starting here or up here, make sure you show me that and that work, get that answer. Again, all we do is, since they're all interior angles, we just subtract them from 180. Yes, you can do that, but again, set it up this way. We're at 180 degrees. We start with that because when we're talking over here, how do I solve this one, Mr. Walls? All the inside angles add up to 180 degrees. Now carefully add them up. Notice we've got an x plus 4, which has parentheses, but the only reason it has parentheses is so that way we know that it gets the label degrees. And now that is only two angles. Don't forget about this guy, often a red box, which means it's a right angle or 90 degrees. Again, this is why I always start with 180. You could look at this whole thing up here, and you could just quickly jump to this spot where you know it's 180, and that it is 2x plus 94. It is possible to jump there, but you'll always see me start here, so that way you know where we got these numbers from. And now that we've got those numbers, I'll focus in down there. I'm going to add a negative 94 to both sides. Again, yes, you could subtract it, but again, I'm going to start by just not subtracting, but adding the opposite. Gives me 86 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2. Always be careful to read instructions and answer the question. The value of x is 43 degrees. If you had to, you could come up here, and then you could tell me that this is a 43-degree angle, and this here is 43 plus 4. Give me 47 degrees. If it says find the missing value, you're done. But if it says find the angle measurements, I need to see both of those. Now it says find the measure. Notice it says find the measure, but now what are we concerned about? The inside? No, we're concerned about the exterior angle. This one is different. Everything on the inside is 180 degrees. Here on the outside, we start with the outside. Everybody say outside. Or I suppose we should say maybe exterior to be precise. So start with that exterior. X equals, and now add up the two angles on the inside. 28 plus 64. This is the nice one. These are the ones we like. Add them up, and you get 72 degrees. Done. That is all we do for an exterior angle. Those ones are the nice ones, but the one you're going to see more of, because we're here in course 3, again, we're going to start with that exterior angle. 3A equals, now add up the other two angles. 87 plus A plus 7. Let me add those like terms. So that's A plus 94 equals 3A. Now, solve that equation for your value of A. Notice again, since there are variables on both sides, I'm going to start looking at each side individually. So on this side, are there any constants? Any just plain numbers? No. Are there any constants on this side? Yes. So since there's constants on this side, I'm going to leave them. I'm going to leave that 94, and I'm going to focus on getting rid of that adding A, or adding that 1A. So how do we get rid of adding A, or adding a positive 1A? Yes, you could say subtract A, but you're always going to hear me say don't subtract. Add the opposite. So I'm going to add a negative 1A to both sides. That gives me 2A equals 94, which is wonderful. And from there, solve by dividing by 2. Again, watch the mental math. Feel free to use a calculator all the time. If you need help figuring out how to use the calculator with positive and negative signs, please let me know. Otherwise, that gives us A equals 47, which is great. But if you circle it up and leave that there, you're going to see a star -2 on a quiz. It said, what's the exterior angles measure? So now go back up here. Since we know A is 47, what is 3A? What is 3 times 47? That exterior angle is 141 degrees. Always read and answer the question. 47 is the value for A, but we need to answer the question of what's the measure of the exterior angle. All right, what's the value of X? Cool. Are we on the inside or outside? We're concerned about everything on the inside, or all the angles on the inside, or is there an angle on the outside? All right, since they're all on the inside, we're dealing with 180 degrees. Everybody say 180. Start with 180, and yes, you could jump right away, but you're going to see me write down every angle. X plus 55 plus 2x minus 61, which I'm going to switch right away. But yes, you can see it. So on a standardized test, by all means, somewhere where you're got time, add up those like terms right away. Just see them up here. And then be very careful when you do this, because you got that 55 plus a negative 61. So do make sure that's plus a negative 6 when you do that. You get that. Again, now we solve that equation. We're going to add 6 to both sides. You've done that here on the right. So journey to the left side, add that positive 6. Get 186. That's an equal sign. 3x. And of course, divide both sides by 3. Where x equals 62. Since it said find the value of x, you have done that, and you have solved for the value of x, and you're done. You don't need to plug it back in. If it says what are the angles, tell me all the angles. If it says what's the missing angle, tell me the missing angle, but here it said find the value. My favorite, this question. You should put a big old star on it. You should put just big stars right beside it, wherever you want to put it, because this is one that they just ask real quickly. STARS testing or standardized testing, even as you get into high school and you do your SAT, ACT, PSAT, plan, whatever it might be, your PSAT, all these different things. This is just a quick question that they love to ask because everything you need is here, but we sometimes forget how to do this. And once we see how to do it, it's not that bad of a question. The ratio of interior angles of a triangle are 2 to 3 to 4. What are the angle measures? So tell me the 3 angles in this triangle. They need to have a ratio of 2 to 3 to 4, which means like 2 degrees, 3 degrees, 4 degrees, or 12 degrees, 18 degrees, 24 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, 40 degrees. They need to simplify down to that ratio, but don't guess and check. Save yourself some time. Because we're dealing with the inside, everybody say inside. They all add up to 180 degrees. We don't know what they are, but we know that ratio, so give each of those numbers a variable. 2x plus 3x plus 4x. Or again, on our standardized test, just add up those numbers, 2 and 3 and 4. Get 9x equals 180. Divide by 9. Woohoo! And x equals 20. Wonderful math. Now answer the question. If x is 20, then what is each angle? What is 2x? What's 2 times 20? 40 degrees. Good. What's 3x? What's 3 times 20? 60 degrees. And 80 degrees. Yes, there are some times, and there may be some of you even now, who got that quickly on a guess and check. Do not do guess and check. Ingrain in your mind that you put a variable after each one of these numbers and set it in this case because it's 180 degrees because we're talking about notice what type of angles? We're talking about the interior angles of the triangle. That's why we set up to 180 degrees. Otherwise, rattling that off quick, today our big thing is the interior angles are 180 degrees and a single exterior angle. You just add up the 2 inside that are across from it, or as it said in the definition, are not adjacent to it.